Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to more Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops 3-star veteran guides. This one is resistance movement, and it is an extremely simple one. The basic premise of what you're going to be doing here with your buddy is you're going to be moving through I think it's Hungary or something like that. It's the level before, the second to last level of Act 2. But this time you're going to go through it in a different pace. There's going to be two of you, obviously, and you just have to take out the dudes as stealthily as you can. You do not have to free the resistance members. You can if you want to when you ask them to come with you. You do not have to. It's completely optional. And all you need to do is figure out the patterns of the enemies that you see me and my buddy here take out, and take them out accordingly. If any of them see you, they will signal an alarm. If an alarm goes off, it's going to make this level extremely difficult, but it's just like the hostage taker one in that if you can survive the initial barrage from the randomly spawning reinforcements, you can do this level with no issue. But surviving that barrage is is easier said than done. So all you want to do for these early parts is get a good rhythm where you take some people out, your buddy takes some other people out. If you get to a section which we're coming up to now, where there's multiple enemies at the same checkpoint, make sure that you've got them covered and that you know what you're doing. Make sure you coordinate your movements with your friend as best you can. And this section here, there is two guys and there's a dog. And this guy over here is kind of tricky to hit sometimes, and it's not because it's a tough shot, it's just because of the hit detection of the game. I've done that exact same shot and I've missed. Don't even ask me how, but it was really frustrating. Anyhow, now that those guys have been taken down, keep pushing through the street. And this is a really easy one. I think we did this the first or second try, so that just goes to show that this is definitely not going to be one of the ones that gets you stuck like some of the other ones have. But it's definitely about learning the pattern, more so than every one you've played so far, because there is definitely a pattern. It's not bullshit, it's just, you know, doing your thing. As I come over to this bugger and I come with me if you want to live, and apparently he doesn't want to live because he's just ran off over there. But you're going to move through a building now, and this is when you're going to come up against some people a little bit closer than the other guys. Don't worry though, they do have their back to you. If you shoot and you don't hit them, you can set an alarm off in this room, because I've done it myself. Somebody will hear the gunfire and it does make them suspicious. So you just want to make sure that all your shots are on target. And just enjoy yourself, because these Spec Ops, especially on Veteran, you kind of get to that point where you're playing them more for the achievements and more for the sake of doing them than playing them because you want to play the game. And it's kind of, you know, it's kind of a barrier to entry when it comes to playing them, because you know they're going to be a pain in the ass on the hardest difficulty. And even when you put them on Recruit, they're not that easy, because you do die a lot quicker than you probably should on the easiest setting, if you ask me anyhow. And right there, you could have probably done the 2-for-1 achievement if you've not already done it, but you'll probably get that during the campaign because it's exceptionally easy to do. And this one is an interesting one. There's 3 guys here, and I do believe there's a couple sleeping dogs. So you want to just time it with your friends to take out the guys, and whatever else is there. But it is exceptionally simple. There's not really much to talk about. So instead of talking about this one, I'm going to talk about The Thing, the prequel movie that's just come out. And I don't have very long to go into it, but the film itself is perfectly fine. It is an adequate suspense kind of horror movie, and it is nowhere near as good as the old Thing. It stays far too close to the formula of the original, and I don't know if you'd call it homage or if you'd just call it, you know, a lack of ideas, but it's not that great if you wanted it to do something different, but if you want it to do the same steps, the same kind of things, you might enjoy it a bit more than I did. One of the things that pisses me off the most, though, is the same thing that pissed me off with Predator's movie, is when there's a film before it that's already explained how the mechanics of whatever's happening works. In the next movie, they kind of skim over it and don't re-explain it because they assume that you've seen the past one, but from a narrative perspective, that is atrocious storytelling, and I think it's fucking terrible. And the example that I could pull from Predators is at the end of the film, where Adrian Brody suddenly jumps out covered in mud and starts beating that Predator up because he somehow knows that you can block your body heat with mud. And he knows this because Arnie figured it out in Predator. And Arnie figured it out in a hell of a lot better way than that motherfucker does. And it just makes it feel cheap, and it lessens the impact. And on Thing, what happens is, she's looking into this microscope, and she's looking at these cells, and she kind of does like, it looks like these cells are imitating each other. And the scientist next to her goes, well, what does that mean? She goes, well, it could mean that they're imitating people on this ship, and that somebody here is not who they say they are, and they will one day transform into a monster and eat us. And it's just like, really? Is that how you're going to tell this fucking awesome story? Really? And I wasn't a fan, but it's watchable. There's far too much CGI if you like practical effects. It'll never be anything that John Carpenter's original was, because that film is fucking amazing. And that was based on like a Swedish film or a Norwegian film, so we can't exactly call it the most original concept, but my god, it was Kurt Russell, and I fucking love Kurt Russell. But thanks for watching, guys, and you take care now.